Break it down. Bump, 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 bump. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Conversion Code Podcast. My name is Travis Halverson. I am joined by the one and only Matt McKenzie of Real and Community. I love him so much. Here he is. Matt, thank you so much for joining us again. I took my sweater off to make it look like this is two separate episodes and two separate days. However, you're in the same hoodie. So no, you took the hat off, so that means it's a second day. So here we are. New day, new time, new topic. Matt, what are we going to talk about today? I know we kind of gave a pre of it, but we should talk about this. We should give them action items. Let's give these people action items and what they're doing wrong in their business to help them generate more business.
Guys, we're overcomplicating lead conversion. Goodness.
You're absolutely right.
We're trying to figure out like this person's life story, this person's like everything, and we're not focusing on the right things. The reason you're probably not setting the appointments you need to set, not going on the appointments that you need to go on to close the business that you want, is because you're simply making it too complicated.
So true.
So Trav and I are going to break it down for you very simply, the two things that we believe that you need to focus on when it comes to lead conversion. And we're going to give you the playbook, the blueprint for doing this. So Trav, you have that framework from me. Literally just share it for free. Guys, wow. I want you to have this for free so that you literally have the tool in your hand to do it. I want to make it so easy for you to be successful.
Hell yeah. Thank you. We love that because I love it. Cool. I look at it all the time when it's been a nice, exciting document because the thing is, it's actually just, it's so simple, but it's so great because it's just filled with items that just are like the necessity, you know what I mean? To just help you convert more leads. And it's always funny to me. It's like, you would think this would be common sense, but when you see it on paper, you see it in a document, you're like, oh shit, wow, that's needed. That is how we should do it. That is perfect. So go into it. Jump into it for me, if you would.
So I developed a framework. I've been inspired recently by a guy that's in sales. And if you've been on YouTube, if you're on Instagram, you've probably seen, and you're in sales, you're in real estate, you've seen his face. His name's Jeremy Miner. And Jeremy Miner teaches this specific type of sales process, this sales language called NEPQ. NEPQ stands for Neural Emotional Probing Questions. And his whole framework is helping salespeople connect with people at a deep level and build what he calls the gap. And let's just put some definitions here, guys. The gap is defined as the space between where someone is and where they want to be. So the gap is defined, I'm going to say this again, by it's the space between where someone is and where they want to be. And so here's why premise and why I think everyone in real estate is overcomplicating lead conversion, because you're focusing on the wrong things. We get these script frameworks like LP Mama and Ford, and all those things are great, y'all. They're all just triggers to help you get into a conversation. But I promise you, it's a lot simpler than that. So here at Community, we teach agents and ISAs a simple framework that is focused on two things: the why and the means. That's it.
The why and the means.
Motivation. The motivation and the means. Motivation and means. That's it. The lead conversion is simply broken down into two categories. What is motivating this person to do what they want to do? And what are the resources available to them to make it happen? That's it.
I have a question for you, though, real fast. And this, because I 100% agree with you. And the thing is, whenever I ask people what they're actually doing with like their LP Mama and stuff like that, it's like, now it's just like, if you have a good why, you have their means and their motivation, you know what I mean? Like, you have those two things together. It's like, why the LP Mama doesn't necessarily matter. Like, that all comes down, that's going to come out one way or another as you're doing the home buying process. If you focus on those two things you just said, like, why is that so, like, why do you think people overcomplicate that? Like, why do you think, is it just the fact that we've always just been told LP Mama, call, text, email, LP Mama. Is that what you think it is?
I think it's a behavioral conditioning issue. Mm-hmm. But I also think it's also that real estate agents in today's market, Trav, think that they have to talk to people about the whole dang process of buying or selling a home in today's market. Mm-hmm. rather than just taking the time to connect with somebody. So I run into this all the time. Lead sources like realtor.com and Zillow have frankly made agents really lazy when it comes to connecting with people.
Yeah.
Guys, and this is why our business has an 88% fail rate in the freaking first year. 88% of the agents that got their license this year won't be around next year, because real estate school teaches people how to write a contract, not how to connect with people.
Yep.
This business has nothing to do with selling homes.
Relationships.
It has everything to do with relationships and connecting with people. So motivation and means. And we spend 80% of our conversation on the means, on the motivation, excuse me. And we spend 20% of our conversation on the means.
That's
so
good.
let's unpack motivation. How do we discover motivation? Well, you get somebody on the phone for the first time. Doesn't matter where they came from. PPC, website lead, Google local services, but open house. The beautiful thing about this framework, guys, it literally works everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Literally everywhere you could go. Any lead source you could ever get. So, motivation. Step one, the connection phase. You need to take the focus off of you and you need to put it onto the client or the prospective client. How do you do this? You simply ask a question. Hey, Trav, tell me more. What's the reason you're wanting to move? Hey, Trav, tell me more. What was it about finding a new home that's attracting your attention right now? Hey, Trav, just so I could see things through your eyes, what's motivating you to make a move eventually? And what has you interested in real estate? Like we get that objection right all the time, Trav, like, oh, I'm just looking. Oh, great. No problem. Like, what's got you interested in real estate? And then starting to dig into motivation. So it's all about taking the focus off. The connection phase is all about taking the focus off you and putting it on someone else. Guys, people love to talk about two things, themselves and what they love to do.
So true.
So if you can put the focus on, like, they're going to talk about themselves anyways. They love to do that. It's the easiest thing ever. So put the focus on them, right? That's step one. Step two, the situation phase. Give the person a safe place to vent or talk about their why. Guys, I hate to break it to you, and this really does suck. A lot of people moving right now, especially in our market right now, where high interest rates, low supply, still high demand. We don't have a lot of people moving that want to move. We have a lot of people moving that have to move. And the people that have to move are often moving for reasons that are really heartbreaking, like death and divorce.
Yep.
So you need to create safety with that person. And safety is created in two ways: tonality and changing why questions to what questions. Why is confrontational? What is collaborative? Using the tone of your voice. You just notice how my tone just shifted when I'm talking about this. I sound concerned. I sound genuine, because I actually am. When I tell people all the time, hey, people move for not fun reasons, like my voice lowers, my cadence slows down, I start to lean in. And so that situation phase is created by simply asking that question. Well, Trav, how long have you been feeling like it might be time to make a change?
God, that's good.
So I'm literally creating like this like little safe bubble for Trav to talk about his feelings. So this is where you get to put on your therapist. Yeah, you're a therapist. If you're an ISA, you're a therapist.
Nice.
Yeah, honestly, I should change.
Exactly.
We should all change our job titles to therapists. Real estate therapists. So.
ITA, Inside Therapist Associate. There it is.
Yeah, there we go. Here we go. So situation phase, give that person a safe place to vent or talk. Guys, when people express to you why they're moving and it's a heartbreaking reason, please don't say I'm sorry, because that takes the focus off of them and puts it on you.
Yep. Please
start saying, hey, Trav, thanks for trusting me with what's going on in your life right now. I really don't have words for a moment like this. And just leave space. I actually got that from Nikki, who's on Trav's team and is just one of the. She's in the top
wordsmith. Wordsmith, bro. It's nuts.
She's nuts. So Nikki, much love. to you. Your heart for others is really, really amazing. So situation phase, give that person a safe place to talk. Problem awareness phase is the next step. Get that person to identify the main problem. This is the meat and potatoes of why they're actually moving. And the easy transition question into this is like, well, Trav, do you like where you live currently?
No.
Notice my curious tone, right? Well, do you like where you live currently?
I do, because I live above Preston. So yes, I love where I live.
Okay. It sounds like it's not a horrible situation, Trav, that you're in. But I guess if you could, what would you change about it if you could?
I could give you a good answer.
So that transition is broken down into two things, right? How do we go from situation to problem awareness phase, guys? We ask them, well, do you like where you live currently?
Mm-hmm.
And then no matter what they say, well, it sounds like it's not horrible, but if you could, because this sounds like it's not horrible part, guys, it does what I call it takes the sale off the table.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it just lowers the guard because people already have sales resistance towards real estate professionals
Always.
because of years and years of mistrust and years of abuse of that influence in people's life. Like, you can make a lot of money in this business, and you can also screw people over in the process.
True.
So and that's just not good. This is a service-based business. It's a relationship thing. You'll never build relationships by screwing people over.
True.
I promise you. So but this sounds like it's not horrible. Take the sale off the table. But if you could, and notice my tone when I said that, but if you could, like, what would you change about it if you could? I'm like kind of concerned, kind of curious. I'm not saying anything's definite, but if you could, like, what would you change? And that person starts to like vent about their current situation. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like this. I don't like that. I would do this. I would do this. And it gets them to really narrow in on what the problem is. And you now know why this person wants to be. Let's say it's more space. Another question you could ask here in the problem awareness phase is like, hey, Trav, like, how is, being in that apartment preventing you from having the space to host more people for hangouts at your house? So now I'm like literally tying a life emotional thing to the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can ask, well, Trav, how long has this issue been going on where you can't really have people over and build the community that you want? We're not talking about real estate now, guys. Now we're talking about friends and community. And then the last question that I like to ask in the problem awareness phase, well, Trev, what's the main reason that you might be looking to do something about this problem now versus just staying where you're at? Now I'm getting that person to literally say, this is why I want to do this now. They are selling themselves, y'all. This is not selling. It's simply discovering and being a mirror for that person, getting them to self-discover why they need to make a change. That's it. So, problem awareness phase. Get the person to identify the main problem, go a layer deeper, ask them how long that problem has been going on, and then ask them what's the main reason they might be looking to make a change now versus just staying where they're at currently. Solution awareness phase. We need to get people excited about where they're going next. Guys, this is the number one missed thing by agents who take a lot of listings in today's market. I promise if you switch this one thing in your business, you'll get more listings than ever before. Everyone wants listings right now. We talk to sellers about selling their home. Newsflash, nobody's excited about selling their home, guys. Everybody's excited about where they're going next.
Oh,
so
true.
Stop talking about selling their home. Start talking about where they're going next. And notice how much better your conversation is. Notice how many more listing appointments you set. You're welcome. So, solution awareness phase. Future cast. What would life look like if their problem was solved? So, Trav, let's fast forward here, 6 months. What would life be like if, you had a little bit more space and you could invite people over and, actually build that community that you want to?
It would be amazing.
There you go. Cool. And so what's the ideal situation you're really looking for? Now they're going to tell you, I want a 3-bed, 2-bath, blah, 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 with this and that and that. guess what? You just got part of your LP mama, by the way.
There's your LP mama.
And the last question in this solution awareness phase, well, Trav, what would this really give you? Going back to the main thing, right? And then we want to come back around to a question. This is transitioning from solution awareness into the commitment phase, which is getting them to recommit to the why. And simply going back to that question we asked earlier. Well, Trav, what's the main reason you might be looking to try to get into a better space to build community sooner rather than just staying where you're at? We're asking that question again, and we're getting them to double down on their commitment. Right here, guys, we've started to build the gap, because someone is now waking up to the realization that they are not in the place that they want to be to have the life that they want to live. At the end of the day, guys, people are either running from pain or running towards pleasure. Either someone needs to move because their situation is so dang painful and they want peace and they want joy and they want happiness back in their life. Or somebody just had a baby and they know that in order to raise that kid the way that they want to, they need a bigger house. This is why people
not in my room. It's not sleeping in my room.
Yeah, for sure.
Done that.
So that phase is simply that question again, right? Small, super small. Then if you hear nothing else, you need to go into this phase and what I call the consequence phase. You need to explore failure or the consequence of inaction with that client. This creates the gap. And remember, at the beginning of this podcast, we talked about what the gap is. And the gap is, again, the space between where someone's at right now and where they want to be. This one phase in this framework helps build that gap. It helps nail it down. So, Trav, I guess fast forward 6 months and you don't do anything about getting more space to build the community that you want. What does life look like then?
Rough.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah. So you get people to say that, right? And the one question that you can ask to go a little bit deeper here is, well, Trav, tell me more. Like, how would that impact you in the long term?
That's good.
Get them to think about the long term effects. Guys, this is all built on the premise of that people, when they are looking at real estate online, they're in a logical based thinking. Your job as a real estate agent, as an ISA, whatever, when you're talking to leads, is to get them from the logical side of their brain to the emotional side of their brain, because people make purchase decisions out of the emotional side of their brain, not the logical side of their brain. So we need to get to the emotion. At this point, we are exploring a deep amount of emotion. So, consequence phase. What would life look like if you didn't do anything? Explore the consequence and failure of inaction. Then we simply move to this. And this is taken directly from our brokerage president, Sharon. And it's one of the best questions you could ask in real estate. Well, Trav, has anyone just ever taken the time to walk you through some of the most important things that you need to consider in order to find more space so that you can build the community that you want? The formula there, guys, is, has anyone taken the time to walk you through the most important things you need to consider? Tie it right back to what they said they wanted. Mm-hmm. Or the seller side. Hey, let's say Trav wants to sell. Hey, Trav, has anyone taken the time to walk you through the most important things you need to consider in order to, win in the market when you're ready to sell and move? Not to say they're going to do it tomorrow, but when they're ready to sell and move, this is how you get the appointment. Then the last phase in this, guys, is simply that presentation phase. This is the only time that you are going to spend more time talking than they will. That presentation phase is simply talking about the next steps, the meeting. Well, Trav, typically what happens next, if appropriate, is a strategy conversation with an agent on my team. This is written in for an ISA, but if you are the agent, you just replace it with typically what happens next, if appropriate, is a strategy conversation with my team and I. In that conversation, we would walk you through exactly what it takes to help you get more space so that you can create the community that you want. Mm-hmm. where would you like to go from here? Oh shoot! Now they're asking me for the appointment.
I love that. The where should
Where
we go
would you
from
like
here, man? That's my favorite one.
Yeah, where should we go from here? And then, people are probably at this point, if you're listening, you're like, well, he didn't even ask him about the financing. They're pre-approved and like all that stuff. No, because
Oh,
newsflash, you're talking to haven't talked to a lender yet. Hate to break it to you, but it's pre-approved leads. Like it's a thing that happens sometimes, and when it happens, it's awesome. But yeah, they haven't done that yet. But we're getting there. Unless that person has explained their financing situation to you, which by the way, 90% of the time at this point in the conversation, Travis, literally someone has broken down their entire financial playbook for me on buying or selling a home.
by the time you get
because
you've gotten this far.
Yeah. If they haven't, the last thing that we say is, hey, Trav, just so our team can be best prepared to help you, again, get what you want. Notice I'm reinforcing what they said they wanted throughout this whole thing, keeping their attention on that. So just so our team is best prepared to help you, so I can walk through exactly what it's going to take in order for you to get this.
Mm-hmm.
What monthly payment would you be ideally comfortable with for a new place? Would that be your absolute max, or would that just be something you're comfortable with? You want to get a range from people. Get a range.
Mm-hmm.
Don't focus on price range. Focus on monthly payment, because people, guys, interest rates don't matter. Newsflash. Everyone's getting an interest rate objection right now. Interest rates are way too high. The interest rate doesn't matter if the payment makes sense.
True.
So take the interest rate thing off the table. Focus on the payment, right? Ask them what their monthly payment looks like right now if they're renting. This is, don't ask what they're putting towards their down payment. Hey, Trav, what funds are currently available to you to help you get X, Y, and Z? Exactly what they said they wanted. Don't ask about down payment. Ask them what funds are available to you right now, or are going to be available to you to help you get X, Y, and Z right up front. That's a better question. And then just reinforce them. So, based on what I'm seeing here, Trav, in order for you to accomplish getting more space so you can build the community that you want, with your $20,000 that you're going to put down, and your desired monthly payment of somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 a month, we probably need to be looking at homes in the 3 to 450 range. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm doing, guys, to walk people through that? I'm simply just using a mortgage calculator.
Nice.
That's it. A mortgage calculator. And I'm aligning, before we even get to the buyer consultation, before I'm setting that appointment with an agent, if you're an ISA, I'm aligning a payment that makes sense for them to make sure it makes sense in the market. And if it doesn't make sense here, guys, you do need to go back and you need to check. Say, okay, I'm not sure if these resources are actually going to get you what you want. So, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, if you're talking on the phone, like, what's more important to you? Finding the home that you want, or finding something that makes sense in your budget? Just put it right back on them, right? But guys, if you literally use this framework, I promise you, you will discover someone's motivation at a deep level. You'll create the gap. And that whole like qualifying them, like, credit score, payment, down payment, all that will become so much easier, because it seems like an afterthought at the end of that conversation that you just need to have to be best prepared to help them get what they want.
Is it safe to say that they would sell more houses if they followed this?
Proof over promise here, guys. Our real estate team at Community, we are up 40%.
Good.
In this market. And we've been doing this for a year.
Nice.
So, yeah, I think
the answer is yes. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. You'll sell more houses if you do that framework. And guys, thank you so much, Matt, for sharing all of this stuff with us. We really do appreciate it. When you sent it to me, I was like, this is huge. Like, I really appreciate all the stuff that you've given us and everything that you've always shown me. We'll go ahead and we'll get that document sent out and we'll put that up there. Send us over a logo so we can put your logo on it, and we can, everything that needs to be. So it says your name, how you contact you, things like that. Any of your, whatever links you have towards your coaching. Cause Matt is also a coach and he can coach you be the best person you've ever wanted to be. Matt, once again, we really do appreciate you being here with us, man. I know you got to get going. So, any parting words?
Guys, the most important thing that you could ever do is connect at a deep level with others. Don't focus on selling houses, focusing on building relationships because you're in a relationship business. So thanks for listening.
There it is, guys. Once again, Matt, thank you so much for joining us here on the Conversion Code Podcast. My name is Travis Halverson. Chris is in the corner dancing. We appreciate every single one of you that's looking at this. And talk to you guys next time.